I want to start with each of you on this call telling me where you think, like, if you knew exactly what the problem was with your social media, what would you say that it is? What is the area that is the thing that if you grew in this way, if you committed to this thing, it would make the biggest difference for your business, right? And I'm not saying you have to have it all figured out. I just want to start the conversation of where you think you really need to grow in your skills or consistency or awareness. Okay, so take a minute to be ready to answer that question. And if you're on the playback, go ahead and take the time to answer this question and send it to me in a text message or on Messenger. Okay, y'all are gonna see me looking all over the place because I have notes up on, I have 2 computer screens right now and my handwritten notes and a notebook. So I'm sure this will be seamless. Okay, does anybody want to go first with their answer?
I will.
Okay.
I think what holds me back, I think, and so I need a skill, I think, is having the right tools, and I know this is going to sound very vain, but tools, filters, apps to make it look good. You know, I don't want it looking crummy. And I don't want to look crummy. I want to look as best as I can. So you know what I'm saying? You know, like those samples that you showed us, Shanna, of Amber's, where she had all the writing. I don't know if that's just regular, comes with, you know, when I'm doing Facebook stories, is it right there at my fingertips already? And I just don't really know how to use it.
No, in Short Story, that's an app that she uses, and I can give you that information.
So I think a lot of it is just not the know-how of the technical part of it holds me back a lot. In all honesty.
So can I ask, so you have stuff that you could post right now if you had better pictures and images? Or
I have things that I see other people post that I would get ideas from. I don't come up with the ideas, you know what I mean? But I could think, if I sat here and thought about it, yes. But I haven't really thought about it deeply lately.
Okay. I'm super proud of you for that. Can I kind of coach y'all along the way? Are y'all open? Carol, are you going to let me do this?
Sure. I'm here to learn.
Okay, so
yeah.
I wonder if we can be open to the idea that you're letting yourself have an exit because you're focusing on perfection. Because the truth is, your social media is not about you. Now, girlfriend, I'm 42. Trust me, I'm trying not to post the pictures where it shows exactly in my neck how old I am. Okay. So I totally get it. Like I'm all for filters and stuff. Okay. But on a bigger level, the goal is to connect with people. So I wonder if maybe you're focusing on the thing that actually isn't the connection tool or even the connection portion, and it's holding you back from the part where you really would create the thing that connects and changes people's lives.
I'm 100% with you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And
that's what's happening.
And that happens to all of us. Yeah. Right. Is there anybody else that maybe, and now that we've put words to that, maybe like, oh, I'm fixating on this little thing, and so I'm not doing the important work. Right. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That's helpful. Okay. So I'm making notes along the way. So if you don't get served tonight on what it is that you said that you really need to grow in, we'll get back to it. Okay. Okay. Who is next?
Shanna, I'll go.
Okay.
So just full disclosure for everybody, Shanna and I were talking a little bit about social media earlier today, and it gave me a lot of time to think about kind of this question. I didn't know she was going to pose it tonight, but I think what my problem is with social media is that I'm still, you know how when you're posting to friends, you want to tell them about yourself? Like that's why I first got onto social media. It was so that my cousins knew what I was doing and that my sister-in-law knew what I was doing. Like it was all about me. And so I'm not very good at making the transition to it's about them. And what would new people who don't know me very well need to know about why they want to hang out with me? Like, again, it's that concept of what's in it for them. I don't do that. Because I'm like, well, why wouldn't you want to hang out with me? Look how cool I am. And that's not cutting it. That's just not actually, that's not doing it. So I need to get better at how I frame my story and how I frame the post.
Love that.
Yeah, I've been walking around.
Ding,
with
ding,
this-
ding, ding, ding.
with
Ding, 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 ding.
conviction.
Nailed it.
I've had a heavy conviction on me today. So I was like, oh yeah, I need to go to social media training tonight.
Okay.
Thanks, Shanna.
You're welcome. Who's next?
I'll go.
What? I can't understand.
I don't do social media at all. I may repost an inspirational thing that someone posted that I like, but I mean, I don't put stuff out there, you know. So, and I don't have that many friends and I work from home. So I'm a very quiet person and I do numbers. I don't do words. So if I have something, I don't know what to write on it.
Okay.
I mean, you know, 60s, you know, in the 60s, being 60, it's like not something I grew up with, you know. I don't even type with my thumbs on my phone. So, you know, I'm so far behind on that. So honestly, I must be afraid of it. I must be intimidated by it. I just don't like it.
Okay. I appreciate all of that. And I get really excited because the people who know you, if you could show up on social media in a way that still was 100% the Mel that they know and love, the quiet Mel, the numbers Mel, the loves horses Mel, like the who you are and who they know you to be, if you could honor that, but also position yourself as somebody who can help them on a journey, like how many people would you be able to help if you opened up that avenue? Because
Probably a lot.
if you have friends that are also in their 50s and 60s, and listen, I'm telling you, you horse people, there isn't a horse person you know that doesn't hurt from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's just learning how to tell stories that people see themselves in, and you position yourself as on the same journey, just a little bit ahead of them. That's the secret sauce. That's the thing to master, is learning to tell stories that other people can see themselves in. And they're the hero, not you, right? That's the mistake in network marketing I see the most. And Trisha kind of talked about it. It's so easy to be like, because there's like in 2015, 5 years ago, there was this whole thing like, have your perfect Instagram, have your perfect things. Everything should go together. It should all look a certain way, make it look perfect. That's what people want to see and consume, right? And it was show your lifestyle, show yourself winning, make other people want to look like they want your life. Y'all, it's not like that anymore. We're a different people. People want to, and actually, I bet, Carol, if you started, getting on there where you didn't always look perfect, people would be like, oh, thank God. Like, it's about time we see some people looking real. I mean, I have a friend on Facebook that every like Wednesday, he's like, okay, ladies, give me that selfie, no filter. Come on, y'all got to keep it real out here. Like, he's like, everybody needs to know what you really look like, who, and the girls do it, and it's fun. And so we're in a time that people want authenticity and vulnerability. And I would go so far as to say, let me kind of piggyback on what you shared on the bigger scheme. Why is social media important? Because, if you don't have enough people to talk to, Facebook is your mine. Like, it is the area where you can make new friends. And if Visayo is the reason that you start doing this, I can guarantee you on my life that you will look back to whatever this was that made you do that, and you're going to meet people in a virtual world that you're going to love, respect, and they're going to enrich your life. You're going to enrich theirs, and you're going to look back and be like, man, I did that because I was trying to grow my Visayo business, and the joke's on me because it made my life better, right? And that's the power that social media has. That's where I'm hoping that we get to, and where you get to come from, right? And so, it's like, you're not limited. There's no barriers on how many people you can reach on social media. In the old school network marketing, it was how many people could you get in front of today? How many people could you take to coffee? How many people could you take to lunch? How many people could you meet in your small town of population 6,000, right? You would be limited, but you're not limited anymore. And if you think you are, you're wrong. Okay? Period. And you just need to start thinking differently. And I'm not just speaking to you, Mel, I'm speaking to kind of everybody here.
Yeah.
But I hope that we live in a world where everybody's online. You're not limited to the conversations you can have and the things that you can learn about people. And if you live in a town where you're like, nobody's like me, we're gonna have an exercise that you're gonna find your people. Okay. So just bear with me. I'll be honest, I normally come into training super like I know my stuff, I'm ready. And I'm leading so much on so much stuff that's come at me from different days that this is this is not me and operating in my confidence right now. Okay. So I want to go, let's go. Casey, you're unmuted. What do you think that is where you need to grow in social media?
Vulnerability, as well as sharing my niche of being a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. Can I challenge you to say that you actually share your niche of being a stay-at-home mom really well?
Oh,
What is the thing that you're trying to?
well, I want to make it where it's also I really, as you know me, I'm very passionate about parenting and being very intentional with my kids. And so I think that I should probably share that more on social media.
Okay. Okay. And can you tell me how that's going to grow your Visayo paycheck?
I believe by getting, reaching the stay-at-home moms out there, that to give them something that I can offer them, I guess.
Okay. So we maybe need to include in what you need to work on is sharing that you have a business and a way to help people on social media.
Yes.
Casey's one of my best friends, y'all. So she totally knows that I'm going to put her in the hot seat and just ask her question after. She can handle it. She's agreeing. She does not mind all these questions. So if you're uncomfortable for her and you feel like I'm coming at her too hard, I promise you she's okay. Casey, will you tell him you're not dying?
I'm not dying.
But so I want to use what Casey said. So a lot of times this will happen where we, Trish and I talked about it today. We think that our job is to provide social media content. You are not a social media influencer. You have an online store to market. If you're not marketing your online store, you're wasting your time on social media, unless you're just trying to, like Casey, I love for you to take and teach people how to be present parents. And there's so many things that you and your husband do that's so different of conventional norm, but so powerful for family. I love the idea of you sharing that and weaving, more of how Viseo helps you to be a stay-at-home mom, which she did this week. She did an amazing, amazing post about the opportunity. So I'm super proud of her. So she gets it, but I want to make sure y'all hear loud and clear that just posting whatever the thing that you're excited about and passionate about doesn't equate to growing because think about it like this. You're getting on social media to get more customers and brand partners, correct? Okay, you're going to have to ask them to buy. You're going to have to ask them to take a look. And it's learning to do that on social media. And you're not doing that all the time. There's ratios and stuff. So who all, let me not start there. Okay. Emily, are you somewhere that you can talk? So everybody, if you came on late, we're just trying to figure out if people can identify where we're starting of where they need to grow in their social media.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not gonna show you my video because I just woke up. So I think that I am kind of on, I don't know, I think I'm kind of on the same page as Trisha, actually. Like when she said it, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So like, yeah, like I don't know, I post for me and for like my people, and I don't know that I like post to like what's in it for them.
Yeah. I love that. And what happens is if you do that, instead of connecting with the person, you disconnected. So let's kind of, who else hasn't spoken? John, do you want to chime in? What do you think is the area that you need to grow in social media for your business? Oh, wait, hold on. We got to unmute you.
Mine is, I guess you could call it the pitch. Mine always ends up sounding forced. And I read over it and over it, and I know I'm my worst critic, but it always sounds more like a pitch guy. You've got the guy at the circus saying, here, come see this is what we've got. And it doesn't sound natural.
Okay. So that, are you referring more to like private messages and when you do it that way, or even post when you're trying to put posts together?
Yeah, I mean, even posts.
Both. Okay, cool. Okay, well, there's our starting point. Is there anybody that I missed? Linda, are you somewhere that you can talk? Okay.
No, not really.
Okay, no worries. Okay, well, here we go. So I want to start first and foremost of the thing that I've learned from my coach that has been one of the biggest things that I think that if I can help y'all develop, it's going to be really important. And it's number one, you need to identify who it is that you're talking to. Who is your ideal client? Who is your ideal customer? Who is your ideal brand partner, right? And that should all fall under one grouping. And you want to get really interested in them, okay? So instead of spending so much time and how do I tell my story, it is how do I get into their head? So I'm going to use I'm going to use an example. Okay. So Casey is a stay-at-home mom, And she likely has a lot of friends that are her age, same demographic, kids at home, those kind of things, right? So she should start figuring out we call it an avatar, ideal person. You want to know what their struggles are, what their fears are. Why haven't they ordered from you before? Right? Like, so let's brainstorm. Feel free to come off mute. So we've got a mom who is a stay-at-home mom. What are some of the reasons on why she hasn't ordered product, or what are some of the let's just brainstorm. Tell me about Casey's ideal person. What do y'all think? I'll throw some out. I bet she doesn't want to spend money on herself.
I was just going to say the same thing. Or she thinks that they can't afford it because she's not working anymore.
Yep, doesn't want to ask her husband for the money. Right? What else? What are some other reasons? Maybe it's been a while since she worked. She doesn't know that she actually has a skill that's marketable.
She thinks she's too busy. She's overwhelmed.
She doesn't even have time for, she doesn't even have time for her anything, much less adding something else.
She doesn't know enough people because she's at home.
Doesn't know a lot of people.
Yeah, things
Yep.
are
So what are some of the things? Yep. Okay. What are some of the problems that she deals with on a daily basis? What are what are some of the problems that we solve that she doesn't know we solve?
She's exhausted. That's why she can't think about anything else, because she's dead dog tired all the time.
Yep. Yep. Doesn't sleep, has brain fog, has no energy.
She's eating scraps, and
What
so
else?
she's been putting on weight because she just eats what the kids haven't eaten off of their lunch plates. Casey, you never do that.
Casey's super disciplined.
She's smart, healthy mom,
Yeah,
making
sure.
sure she eats what she needs to eat.
Yep. Okay. So, what if Casey did a post that said, okay, I'm gonna use an example. She posts a picture of her V3 and says, "Love this stuff, makes my life great." Do any of her people see where their problem got solved? No. What if she instead got into their head? What would that look like?
So I'm planning on actually doing a post about today, because this morning was a very hectic and crazy morning, and I was super tired, not the mom I wanted to be. I was not in the right mood. And so I realized it, and then was trying to figure out, okay, how can I get out of it? And one of the things I did is I went and grabbed a V3, and I was a different mom. So I was going to post that.
So what if the post started with, snapped at my kids 3 times before 8:30 this morning? How many of the moms would be like, that's my day, that's my everyday, got my attention? What if it started there? Do you think some people would listen, look, read more? Yeah. So this doesn't have to be a major overhaul. Does somebody else kind of throw out, because I think the mom one, I think I say it's an easy one, but there's lots of, I think and here, let's talk about on the, I'm going to lay that one down let's pick up somebody else's. Does anybody kind of have a close to who their ideal customer, who they want to attract, who they're attracting? Here's my answer. If you don't know who your ideal customer is, think of somebody that if you've been in long enough, think of who you've signed up. That's who you attract.
See, I would think it would be like the shift workers.
Okay. Is
That
that your
would be-
experience? You know what that's like?
Yeah.
Because they're
You know-
switching back and forth.
Right. Well, or just the guys who work 10 to 12 hours a day, and mornings are always the hardest.
Yeah.
Because you just came off of a 12-hour shift and you're starting over again.
Okay. John, how many social media posts and advertisements do you see that get into their heads that talk about that guy and how hard he's working and how he feels to run that long days like that and what his problems are? Nobody,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like, how awesome if that guy's scrolling and he's like, oh my gosh, somebody sees me. Somebody knows what I'm dealing with. Somebody like think about how that is. Like, if you can get into their head with their problems and their fears, like, don't underestimate the fears. I'm going to use an example when we talked about the mom, because I don't know your shift worker's fears the same as I know a mom's fears. I work with more women and moms. So the fear is, let's say, throw me a fear of a mom. Anybody? Okay, throw me a fear of your ideal client. Anybody?
Oh,
Just a fear. Like, what I mean is, what if, like, so Casey said, what are some of the ones she talked about, Casey, in the beginning? Like, not wanting to spend the money on herself, not having any time, like things like that. So think about the objections. What if once a week on social media, you shared an objection of your ideal person, that you wrote it into story? Like, too busy to even go to the bathroom by yourself. So surely you probably think you're too busy to start a business from home. I see you. I hear you. I felt exactly the same. But let me tell you where I'm at a year and a half later. Let me tell you why I'm glad that I started even when I couldn't go to the bathroom by myself. Still can't go to the bathroom by myself without some littles following me. But let me tell you what I've done in the meantime. Right? Is she going to stop scrolling to hear that? Right? So I want you to start thinking of being a storyteller and how you can help people in their lives, right? Somebody else give me their ideal client. So John, I think the way that you just threw that out, I want you to set some time and literally just daydream. Y'all can Google ideal client avatar and it will give you prompts. What does he drive? Where does he shop? Does he shop online? Does he shop at Whole Foods? What kind of shoes does he wear? Where does he go on vacation? Like, the more you know about your person, the more you can serve them. This should get you kind of excited to start investing this much in the people that you're wanting to help. Does it get you? It gets me excited when I do these exercises.
mm-hmm.
Mel, I want to call on you.
Oh, okay, so horse people. I mean, it's sun up to sundown. You come in at 9:30 at night, you grab a tortilla, put some cheese in it, microwave it, eat it, go to bed.
Boom, there's your post. There is your post, friend.
Awesome.
I mean, that's just it. There isn't time to eat. You go through the drive-through, you pick up a taco and drive, because by the time you get home, you got horses to unload and feed and take care of, and you just don't have time to eat or do that stuff. And by the time you get in at night, you don't want to cook. You don't want to do any of that stuff. So,
nope.
Yeah.
Nope. So do we have some things to help them?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So a simple core and a probably V3, like if you know they're eating junk, they're on the road, that they're driving late at night, that they're sweating their butts off and they've still got 3 more horses to ride and it's been too hot to do it till now. I know that because that's why Dawn Anderson's not on the call, right? But when people can see that their story and their struggle, what happens is they're like, I trust Mel. I trust Mel. I trust Mel. I trust Mel. So then when every once in a while you share about the products or the opportunity, you've already built trust. You've already positioned yourself as somebody that they can identify with, that you're their people. And so if they're going to shop for CBD, they're going to come to their people, right?
Right.
It's just share. So part of this isn't just writing a post that they need to buy something from you. It's sharing just your life and your story, right? What if the post is, yep, another night of walking in at 10 o'clock and eating a tortilla and cheese. Super grateful that, I know that I'm checking some boxes on my health, but maybe you don't even say that. Maybe you just say, You know, good night, everybody. All the rest of you that have been riding 4 horses and you're super sweaty and you're eating a tortilla and cheese for dinner. I see you people, you know. You know, and here's the thing, be you, right? Be you. But if you're, I always tell people, especially my more conservative people who aren't using social media, if you're wanting people to trust you, that requires vulnerability. That is actually what builds trust, is that people see if they see perfect, they don't trust you. They see your perfect posts, they see your perfect everything, they do not trust you. That does not build trust. They see authentic people like them having the same struggles, looking the same, acting the same, showing up to life the same, right? Anybody else want to chime in on this part? Is there anybody who has no clue what their ideal client looks like?
I have a clue.
Okay.
You know, women my age, women in their 50s, 60s mostly.
Okay.
I know a lot of us, I know women are kind of obsessed with weight loss. So I have, you know, friends that are always talking about weight loss, pain, brain fog. And we suffer with sluggishness, energy. You know, we need the energy too. Not that we're chasing kids, but just just need it. And sleep. I think sleep is a big thing for a lot of women I talk to. That's probably one of the first ones that a lot of women talk about, is
Okay.
lack of sleep. But, you know, like Melinda, I don't really have an industry. You know, I help Donnie, I take grandkids. You know, I do a lot of things. You know, we have 9 horses here. I feed horses, clean stalls, scrub out, very unglamorous work. You know, it's just not something I really like doing anymore. But, you know, that you got to take care of them. So, you know, I don't have a, you know, like she has the horse people, you know, that she can speak to. I guess I just have grandmothers. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. So
Mothers
So-
of adult children.
yeah. So how many people do you know that may feel like, man, I just don't fit in anywhere anymore. I'm not working anymore. I'm just like the support. I'm playing a supporting role in everybody else's lives. When did I really just walk out of my own leading role and walk into support role?
Yeah.
Like, I know that my mom felt that way, you know? I mean, that makes me want to cry. I mean, like, but you can,
Makes me want to cry.
I know, but that is hitting on something, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so here's what I want to ask you. What if, because Carol, you've helped so many people with their health. What if because one of the big questions is, do I post about my business or do I post about my products? And there's no perfect answer on that. But Carol, what if you could create a tribe of women who got their purpose back and connected and built businesses together and helped people together? And even if, who cared if they built big businesses, but they cheered each other on and they had purpose again. I mean, that's a girl squad that I want to give me a packet and call me in, right? I don't care how old you are. I don't care. Like, right? And so you don't remember, there's 3 things that Viseo offers, at least. These are the 3 big things: health benefits, wealth benefits, and community. And your demographic ideal person, here's what are some of the excuses on all 3 of these? Okay, they already know, but they need health stuff. Rant. Like, honestly, they're probably almost bored with how many things they've tried that didn't work. And unfortunately, here's the thing: they're aging and they're pissed off about it, and nothing stops it or slows it down as much as they want to, right? So it's like you're trying to make the best of the situation as you possibly can. Okay, but they're just not going to get excited about like, now, do these things help them? Yes. But I want to challenge you, Carol, to commit to building your social media, talking about community and business, because you already are, if you do that, you're going to accidentally catch people on the products. If you're doing both, right, you're going to catch both. If you're only talking products, you are only going to catch products. And listen, those women don't want to get fired up over a product line, probably. But
Right.
the idea of getting together and building a community and having some purpose back, and who doesn't want a little bit of extra money and free vacations? I would be going on and be like, how many of my friends want to go to Cabo with me for New Year's? They just dropped the qualifications. I want to take more friends. Where are my people at? Right? Like, there's a million ways that you can serve the people that, right?
Yeah.
I hope this
Yep.
opened up a whole new world of possibility on how you can help people, how you can show up on social media.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Melinda, I see head nods from you too. Is this fitting?
Oh yeah, yeah. I need the community. I mean, I'm out here by myself, so I don't have
Yeah.
community
Yeah.
at all.
We need to get together.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Nobody thinks they have a community problem, right? Everybody has a too busy problem. They have especially, right? Like, nobody's Googling, I'm lonely, probably, right? Like, I don't know that we are as aware of communities, the thing we need, right? So what is it that they think the problem, what is it, like, the trainings would be, what do they think their problem is? You know that their problem is community. What do they think their problem is? Energy, maybe melancholy, maybe just feeling a little blah, not having to get up and go they had before, right? So you may speak to them on the thing that they think they need, but then this is where you start listening in your conversations when you sign them, right? You're learning about where they're at in life, their family, where they're from, their occupation, and then also their sign, the strengths, interests, goals, and needs. And when you hear, I mean, a lot, I know, Carol, I know that you're the person that anything your kids need, oh, mom's retired, just call mom, she can do it, right? And I'm sure there's like, that's something they understand. It's like, wait, when do I get to do what I planned for my day and not have it hijacked? Right? When do I, right? And there's so many stories that you can tell to build. And part of it's, yes, sharing your story in a way that identifies with your ideal client, but it's also, peppering in some stuff on the products. Cause you just, like, people probably aren't going to reach out to you and say, I'm so super lonely, your Girl Tribe looks amazing. They're probably going to say, I'm not sleeping, I saw you had some sleep stuff. And then it's where you do the deep work of building relationship, that you start learning what to listen to, right? You're probably going to hear that, you're going to hear the things that you're going to know, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. I can help her in more ways than she realizes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, and those of us that are caregivers for parents now,
Mhm.
that's a tough job.
Yeah.
Tired, need to sleep, need to focus, need the energy, need all of that.
Yep.
I just thought.
And
of
do you,
that.
I know from so that's a whole nother, I know from my experience of caring for my mom, you're almost mad at yourself for having needs. You're short-tempered. You snap at the people you love most, that you actually want to show up for them at a time with more caring and more tolerance than you ever have. And instead you're sleep deprived. All the things that you needed to get done aren't getting done. Like, so what can you offer the caregiver? What is it? What is your own story, right? Like, so start doing that work. Just, y'all start writing it out. So I honestly think the skill that pays the most in this business is storytelling. Become a master storyteller. Become a master storyteller of your story and other people's stories. Your story in a way that positions you as a guide. Your story where they can see that you can help them, right? Your story where you share vulnerability and authenticity, and then stories that they can see themselves in. But I mean, the caregiver one, I mean, gosh, our product line, is everything for a caregiver. Go ahead, Trisha.
Well, I was just going to say, this is it kind of piggybacks on what Mel was saying and Casey too, is that if you want to show up the best that you can be, then it's taking care of yourself. And like, you want to be the best caregiver. You want to be the best mom. You don't want to snap. You don't want to, I mean, I know it's hard for me because I'm taking care of my mom. She's 87 and lives 1,500 miles away. I have to be in the right frame of mind to have a phone call with my mom, because I know it goes in circles, right? And she talks and talks, and it's like, okay, so I have to psych myself up or take some CBD or have some V3 to get ready to show up for my mom, which is why some days I avoid calling my mom because I'm not in the right frame of mind. And there's certain people who cannot not show up. I'm lucky that I could just not make the phone call that day, but Casey can't not show up for her kids. And Mel, you can't not show up for your parents. So it's like, so what do you do instead?
Girl, that's a post. Y'all can all steal that. Thank you, Trisha.
Do it. Take it. Take it.
So good. Y'all, this playback is going to be gold mine. I don't know how much we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of what, but this is the real work, guys. It's the getting into how to communicate, because we're in the people business. We're not in the product business as much as we think we are. We're not. We're in the connecting with people business, right? Okay, I'm at least going to get through some of the overall things that I want to make sure we hit on. This is a hack that I think that is a quick way, like what's the first thing that you can implement moving forward, okay? Now, y'all, I don't want to spend a ton of time. Let me back up and hit a couple of high level topics. Number one, why are you posting and what do you do with that? When you make a post and people comment, that is your lead magnet, okay? Now listen, it's not a Visayo post. It is not anything about Visayo. It has nothing to do with what you're selling. But you should have a list of people that you're warming up and people that you're asking, right? And people that you're following up. I'm a 3-list girl, okay? So you should always be adding people to your warm-up list. And then maybe once a month, once a week, you figure out your DMO. We'll talk about what that means. You're asking people to get educated and take a full look, right? But it's the only reason you can do that is because you've spent the time building relationship. The biggest mistake people make are like, oh, how do I reach out to my friend that I haven't talked to in 10 years? You don't about Visayo. You reach out and rebuild your relationship with your friend first, right? Go find out what's going on with them. Find out what's going on in their marriage, where they're working, what their life looks like, because you don't even know how you can help them. And do you really want to be the kind of person that goes in and says, hey, I don't want to hear anything about your life, but I have something for you? Do you want to be that person? No, nobody does. And I think that's, look, I'm a firm believer that this industry is amazing, but just because everybody says you can do it this way and it worked for them, you run it through the filtration system of, is this the kind of business I want to build? Okay. I am not a cold messaging girl. I am going to always teach you to build relationship. Does it take longer? I probably don't think so. I think it's shorter, honestly, because you're building real things. Okay. So sorry, I just got a little bit of a tangent there. I get pretty passionate about that. But you need to, it's all about so let's say I make a post on my trip to Africa and I see who comments and likes. I am going to get a pen and paper I'm going to comment as it comes in because that's good for algorithms. Somebody comments, you comment back. Somebody comments, you comment back. Like you do that. The next day I'm going to get a pen and paper and I'm going to pull up that post on my computer and I am going to write down who commented on my post. I am going to write down who loved my post. And I am going to write down who liked my post. Now I am doing the work of building relationships with the people who are already watching me. If they are Visayo people, they are drinking the Kool-Aid. This is not where I spend my time. Okay. So identify who's cross line or who's on your team. Listen, it's great that they're commenting and you comment on them, because Facebook, the way they do algorithm, they roll it out one wave. If your diehards comment, then they're like, okay, well, maybe some more people want to see this. So then we'll roll it out to another group of people. And if those people like it, then they'll roll it out to like people that you don't see as much. So if your diehards don't comment, like if you write something that even your diehards don't comment like or anything, then they're like, oh man, the people who like love her didn't comment, so nobody else needs to see this. Does that make sense? Okay. But don't worry about that. Why did I just go on that tangent? So you've got your list of who you want to do. So then if somebody commented on your post, I want you to take the time. Is this somebody that you want to do business with? Is it somebody that, and here's the thing, you actually shouldn't run that. They may know somebody who will like if you build relationship with them, they may later be like, oh my gosh, my girl Shanna does that. You need to meet her, right? So I build relationship with everybody. Jessie Lee lived paycheck to paycheck and didn't have a pot to piss in, pardon my language, when she joined network marketing. Nobody offered her network marketing. She had to go to the website and sign without a sponsor, because so in all the network marketing company, they sell you recruit up, recruit up, recruit up. She's like, if that's what happened, I didn't end up in network marketing. Think of all the people that knew me that didn't ask me if I wanted to make money from home. They missed out on somebody who now makes $500,000 a month. So do not rule people out if they're hungry. If she's the second highest paid female in network marketing. She did that in 12 years, $500,000 a month. That's what she brings in. And she's shooting for going higher than that. Okay. So, she had no money. She had 200 friends on Facebook. So if you have more than 200 friends on Facebook, you're ahead of Jessie Lee. She also didn't have a lot of friends. She wasn't friendly. She had to work on a lot of skills in 12 years to get where she's at. Okay. But my point is, don't prejudge people. So if they comment on your post, go over to their Facebook page, see what's going on, find something you can authentically give a comment on, comment for comment, like for like, love for love. Doesn't have to be exactly for that, but that just, does that make sense? Like if somebody's watching you, don't you want to go and say, hey, I'm watching you too. I see you, friend. Like otherwise it's going to be the Shanna show. Everybody just come like my stuff. Yay. No, people want to be seen and heard too. Okay. So get on their posts, y'all. If I don't do it to you, sorry, you're Facebook people, and we're all trying to recruit you. So I'm cheering you on, even if I'm not commenting back, but you know what I mean? So that's what you do. That's what your posts are about. Does that make sense? Do y'all have any questions on that? Is there anybody that's new information that you should be doing that?
Do you do it on stories or do you do it on your page, on your feed? Where's the best place to?
I personally, I always go to their page first because it's longer content. If you reply in stories, remember it's gone in 24 hours. Right. So I like doing anything that's more permanent. But if I'm in the story, I don't spend as much time in stories as a lot of people. And
So
I'm talking Facebook. Instagram's a little bit different, but I think with the exception of, I think most of us are mostly on Facebook. So you think, but basically, 30 and up, 35 and up is Facebook, 30 and down, you need to build on Instagram.
Hey, Shanna, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When you're talking about this part of it, like the comment and like and love part of it, one, how much time do you usually spend on that? And two, is that just to get you more visible to them going forward? And then you're going to take it offline to have more conversation, or?
Yeah. So I would, that's actually really great. 2 questions. So the first one, okay, circle back. I didn't write it down. First question is,
how much time do you usually spend on investigating their pages and making comments? Like, do you set a timer? Do you make sure you do it for everybody? Like, how do you, because my fear is I would get sucked in.
Well, look, if you're only doing 1 post a day, it shouldn't probably, because you may have commented on somebody. Yes. Like, look, some of these aren't going to be where you're doing it every day. Right. So some of them you may do it. This is somebody who you may have a cousin that always comments. Are you going to her page every single day? No, you've now got a mental awareness that when you see her post come up, you're going to go ahead and comment. Like You know what I mean? You'll start doing it as it happens. But what I want to make sure is if you have a list of people that you're warming up, have you gone to their page, seen what they have going on, sent a little comment, and then maybe gone through their page enough that you can go into their inbox and say, oh my gosh, I saw you just got back from Yellowstone. I'm totally wanting to go at the end of the year. Tell me what are the things I absolutely must do. Anything you change? Right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do all of you feel like, okay, I think there's two sides to this. You have enough friends on Facebook that if they knew what you had, you would have more customers and brand partners. Okay. Or you need to find more people to talk to. Which one are you? More people, raise your hand. Or if my people knew really what I have and what I did, I'd probably have more customers. Okay. Okay. That just tells me what to focus on tonight, because I'm just for the sake of time, I'm not gonna be able to do all the things I want to do. So we'll do a part 2 that's going to be more, I really want to get us using the gifts that God has already given us. Right? If we already have relationship, it's easier to honor the relationships we've already built than it is to start them from scratch. Right? Okay. So one of the things that I want you to do, this was my little hack, an easy thing to do right away, because we talked about you need to have your, oh wait, I started talking about this. You need to have your brand. Okay. What are the things that you are known for? Right? So a lot of times when you're like, this is for people that are, you're trying to figure out what to post, because you're not going to post all about Visayo all the time. If you, and every leader is different. I do think some people post about their opportunity too much. Jessie Lee would say it's impossible to talk about your opportunity too much. And she makes half $1 million a month. So you can listen to whoever you want, right? So you can, I think it's really great to come up with a, what do you want people to think when they see Mel on social media? You have control of that. What do you want them to think? Like if I'm throwing some stuff out, I would say businesswoman, entrepreneur. You've already been doing that for years, haven't you? But so you've got to remind people that entrepreneurship is your expertise, right? What are the things that you know, like what are the perspectives you can give on home-based business versus traditional business? What are the pros? What are the cons? What do you wish that you knew? What do you wish somebody else had told you? There's a perspective there, right? You know, so think about 5, I think 5 things is really great, so that because what you want to do is balance. If you're all Visayo, opportunity, entrepreneurship, right? Like people are going to start going, they're going to drown you out. They're going to be like, I already know her. I know everything about her, right? So what are the 5 things that also identifies you, you know, maybe they don't necessarily speak to your ideal client exactly, but it's really about authenticity, right? So can everybody take a minute and think about what their 5 things are? Anybody ready to share what somebody's already done this work and know? And you could even take into consideration what we've just talked about. Some of the things that we just like, how do you want to be known on social media? This is what you get to control. So you really want 5 brand topics, and you want to post at least one of those, and like every week needs to hit all of them for diversity. Does that make sense? Okay. You also want to be consistent. Okay. So whatever you choose to do it consistently, because that Facebook rewards that, as well as your people that's how you start building your brand, right? So this, you have an online store, your Facebook is your billboard. Do you want your billboard working for you once a week? Do you want your billboard working for you every day? Do you want your billboard working for you twice a day? And I'm not talking Visayo post. You are the brand. People can buy health products from anybody. They're choosing to trust you, and it really is about you on some level, on the trust. So 5 things. I saw somebody drop in the chat. Casey, number one. Mom, where's the rest? Where's your other 5 things?
I hit enter too fast.
Okay. What are your 5?
So I got mom, business owner, wifey, rancher, and then something else.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe not it,
I
but
think of you, I think of Jesus, period. So
yeah, probably my faith.
okay. So could you think of 5 things in each of those categories, kind of subcategories under, could you think of 3 kind of subs under each of those? So like now, let's start thinking on how that communicates to you. So mom,
Got 3 kids.
what,
James.
no. Think like, you are trying to, this is not the Casey show. So like, I'm going to throw out some ideas for things to post under mom, having
Discipline.
and this doesn't necessarily have to be brand. It could be discipline. It could be balance, health, like a healthy.
So daily routine.
It could be that you could have 10 things under each. You could have 100 things. Like, I'm just trying to throw some ideas to get you going. Right. So like, how many young moms live in a subdivision and they wish they lived in the country with some chickens and a farm? So could you kind of could you be an inspiration to them? Right. What if they could, like, you know, I mean, like, there's like, just, I want you to just start, brainstorming into each of these categories, things. And here's the thing, if you're consuming social media, it better be for the purpose that if you haven't posted, like, you can even set a thing, like, if I have posted, I don't scroll, right? But maybe you have somebody like that you can think of, like, in your category of faith. Is there somebody that you really admire their social media that talks about their faith often? Could you go and look at a couple of their posts and get inspired and create a couple, right? Now I can tell, I'm going to mind blow you and give you some upper level stuff. My coach would, and you can even sprinkle in, maybe once a week you're doing inspirational quotes. Maybe you're doing it more often than that. And I don't want to hang out here too much, but I definitely want to, I would do you a disservice. I didn't tell you, identify your brand, and that's what your categories you're going to post in. And this just helps streamline what people should expect from you. Maybe once a week, Casey, you share hacks. Maybe it's a product you picked up somewhere that, or, you know, some little tip, you're like some kind of, what is your favorite appliance? Why? And here, that brings me to the next thing. So as you're posting about your brand consistently and in these topics, this is the number one question you've got to ask every time you post it. Why? So if you post your Instapot and say, love this, that's not going to do it for your people. You got to tell them why. Why? Because the dinner I just cooked totally burnt because I was too busy chasing after 2 kids that have been fighting for the last hour. Totally burnt the dinner. Thank goodness for the Instapot, had chicken and rice cooked in 15 minutes. What? Right? Like, tell people what, like, oh my gosh, that happens to me all the time. I need an Instapot. And it's not that you're selling Instapots, but you are being somebody that they're like, oh, you know what? Casey told me how to use that Instapot whenever I burned my dinners. I did that. I've used that thing 3 times this week. If this girl's talking about some health stuff I need, I trust her. Do you see how this compiles? Yeah. Who else has got some stuff? We've got Trisha, faith, health, yoga, encourager, merriment, joy. Awesome. So when you're posting, you need to run it through that filter and make sure it's hitting those things, right? Does this post convey either my faith, health, yoga, entrepreneur, merriment, and joy?
Yeah.
Right. And if, like, I love the merriment and joy one, because if merriment and joy is what you want to be known for, you probably can't go on and be like, y'all stay away from Whole Foods over on Highway 77 because their service was crap. Right? Like, if your brand is positivity and joy and merriment, then you can't use your platform to point out people's mistakes and flaws. Like that don't equate to joy and merriment to me, right? So
Yeah.
make sure that when you're posting, you're really honoring those things.
Well, and I think that's big mind. Again, this goes back to, it's not, I think one of the things that I've really struggled with, and which is kind of what I said before, I want to know people are on my team. So a lot of what I have posted in the past has been wanting to get the me too, I feel the same way. Because there is something, let's just be honest, there's something about posting a bad experience or posting how much you loved a movie. Either way, you want your friends to be like, oh my gosh, I saw that too. You should totally see this one. Or yes, that restaurant was horrible. I'm sorry you had that experience. There's something about getting the me too.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been doing that for me instead of them saying the me too.
Yeah.
And so I need to flip. I
Yeah.
need to have these
So,
notes
and
plastered all over so that I remember to run it through the filter.
okay. So, and I'm going to even because Trisha and I are holy yoga sisters. So I'm even take this further. Y'all can tune out if this is not your jam, but we're going to go a little deeper on this.
Mhm.
Like I have this, I need to find this flow chart and share it, but it's when somebody offends me or disappoints me or does something, the most unbiblical thing we can do is run to others and say, let me tell you what happened, and get them to join in with us, because
Mhm.
now we're pointing out their flaws. Corporate applies to this as well, right? We're pointing out the flaws, and then now they've got a negative mindset of what this company or brand or person is. And instead, what does the Bible tell us to do? Go directly to God. Go directly to God. You are not to recruit other people to the way that you're feeling, to your negative mindset. And we all do this. So Trisha, please, y'all, I do
yeah.
this. If
Oh,
you've had a
no.
one-on-one call, like we all do this, but it's no different. Like you don't want to be known as the person that's the first, like none of us do, right? And I know you know well enough to know that that is not your heart. And if we put it in perspective, it's like that. It's like, oh my gosh, is that what I'm doing? You know?
Yeah.
Y'all, if y'all go back to my social media, there's a reason I don't share my memories from 10 years ago. Y'all don't want to see Shanna before Jesus really got his hands on her. Y'all don't.
Well, and I think too, just having this conversation and kind of rethinking, because Shanna, I'm looking at my notes. We talked about this back in October of
Okay.
last year. Like, okay, so what have I been doing for the past like 8 months? Like it got out of control because I wasn't keeping it front of mind, and I didn't, I mean, I'm serious when I say it. I really do need to have a list in my office, and before I post, I need to reread the list. And you and I were talking about like you just said, ask yourself why. Why would they want to know this information?
Right.
Because
Does
I
this
think we get away? I know that I have gotten away from what my original intention was, simply because I was doing it more like, on the fly as opposed to being intentional. So I appreciate this and reminding me about being intentional.
right? Is it some of the questions, like, do you like, and I know these to be true, is it motivating? Does it motivate the person? Does it inspire them to be their best version? Right? Does it educate them? Does it entertain them? And does it bring them value?
So wait,
Right? Like those are
again.
some things.
Motivate,
Is it motivating,
educate,
bring back education, entertaining, bring value? And I didn't have inspiration on my written list, but that came from my head. Inspirational. Like I want people like that in my news feed. And here's the next thing: shorter content performs better. So if you can say it in less words, you're going to like. And if you're somebody that's really wordsy, I am. And so I just try not to do that all the time, right? You try to want to do. If you do a long one, you better do some short ones for a while. Okay. You have the first few seconds is people are going to decide if they're going to read it or not, or the photo or whatever. And so if it looks like long-winded, they're gonna just hop over it. And right. I'm scrolling through my notes. Okay. So why? Put the why behind, even in your reach outs, we always teach this, but the why. Hey, I thought of you because I wanted to share with this because it can't be about you. If it's because I want you to know what I'm doing, they're like, what's in it for me? Like, people want to know that they're seen and heard. Okay. So do the work that you need to do so that you can authentically come from that place. So add the why, like, Emily, you told me I could audit one of your social media, and y'all bless Emily's heart, because a lot of times she's posting after she's just done a night shift. But there was one that you posted, and it was your V3, and you were talking about and you do this like where you're like, I love it. And I always, I'm like, I want to screenshot and go, why? Like, where would you be if you didn't have it? How would you feel if you didn't drink it? Like, right?
Yeah.
It's the why. Why? What? For somebody like you, tell them you've got to tell them the why. We're not that creative. We're consumers. Our brains are most people are not in creative mode. They need you to write all of it out. They need you to tell them exactly where they were at, where you were at, how you felt, what you like. They need all that. The why, the why, the why, the why. Okay, here's the other thing that we need to work on. Call to actions. This is something that we all have to get better, and it needs to start showing up in as many posts as you can, right? So even your posts that are non-VSEO, in fact, it's going to be easier if you can do this on everything. Ask a question, maybe start with asking a question, maybe share a story, and then you say, have you ever felt like this? When was the last time you had an experience like this? When, if you could go anywhere, where would it be? If you could do that, what would it do? Like, try to get people to interact with you. Okay. This is, I still struggle with this because I just want to get it out there and be done. And I'm like, oh crap, we're gonna have a call to action. And you want to do this so often that people naturally respond to you. It's going to take a little bit. So when people don't take it personal. It takes a while to train them to do that. I had a guy probably about 2 years ago where I asked a question and he commented, he's like, do you ever even respond to these? And I was like, oh, I probably don't respond enough to them. And I started that day moving forward. I tell you his name and I make sure I comment on all his stuff. But you want to try to get people to engage with you and comment. So, and call to actions on your products. What do you want them to do? And you should know this in your head. This is not if you're going to post about V3, what do you want them to do? Let me know if you want a 5-day sample. It's $10. Got them on hand. Let me know if you want my link. Let me know if you need to see the ingredient list. Let me know if I can share your story. Drop a comment below if you've ever felt like this. Give me an emoji if you use a different thing every time. Put your research mode on and try stuff, right? Any questions on that, on call to actions? This is workshop style, so y'all chime in as you need to whenever. Okay. I would even, as a starting point, guys, maybe do a social media audit. Okay. So I think I go live a lot, and I did it. I was doing something of going through my old Facebook videos. I went live 8 times on my own personal page in 2020. Here's the thing. When I go live, I get more inboxes. I can go live on a subject, a story about a trip I just went on, and people are going to message me and say, hey, I was told I needed CBD. I was going to go to the health food store. It happened today. Like you can post about, but it just reminds people, oh, that's, if you've done your work of your hero product and branding, that's the other thing. If you're going, we'll talk about that. I'm making my note. I'm going to circle back to that. Okay. So go through your old posts and see what you would have done differently. And here's the thing, y'all, rewrite it, throw a new picture together and put it back out. Y'all, you know, like a lot of the leaders, that's what they do. They go to they post last year, take it, post it again, put a different picture, change the words up, boom, social media is done. I mean, if you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, just say it in a different way, throw a different story, throw a different picture, right? So I would do an audit. And if you need to bring me, if you have questions, send them to me, don't hesitate. If you're only seeing Viseo people, you need to get super intentional about going into Messenger and commenting and stuff on people's posts that are your ideal client target market on your warm-up list. Facebook cannot read your mind. You can have a list of 100 names, but if you haven't gone into Messenger and gone into their pages and commented and liked their stuff, Facebook don't know. And they're not going to put your stuff in front of them, and they're not going to put their stuff in front of you. You got to do the legwork on the back end to build that up. That kind of circled back to the question that you asked earlier, Trisha, on is it an algorithm thing? It's both. It's algorithm, and it's also just getting you talking to them. Like you may have a conversation about vacation, and then you post something about core, and they're like, oh my gosh, what is that? Because, and they're going to already be comfortable talking to you because they've already been in your inbox, right? Like I had a girl, I asked her about her group. She has like a group about getting dressed. Yesterday, the challenge was kimono. So I put together an outfit with a kimono with some baggy denim shorts. I was super proud of myself for getting out of my sweats. And so I got in a group. I posted my photo and played along. I didn't want her. She's in my business group. I wasn't going to ask her to look at my products. Like I totally honor the people that I'm in my business group with. She totally messaged me and wanted to know about my product line, wanted the video, wanted the link, wanted all the things, takes a bunch of health products. And I'm like, I didn't like, that's not even what I went to her for, but we were already in the inbox, right? So makes sense. Yeah. Are we like maxed out right now? Can we keep going? Where, like, let's check in. Where's everybody at?
For me, I think you've given me a lot for me to work on. And I think the more information you give me, I think it's going to block out what I was thinking that I needed to do for me, you know, just for my brain and how much I can assimilate.
That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling from all of the looks on your faces. And so I want to leave you with one thing. If y'all were on the Sunday training from 2 weeks ago, we talked about identifying your hero product. And if you were on last week, I said, identify your hero product. And there were some parts to it that we needed to do. And so here's the thing. Y'all are all going to work on establishing your brand. If you haven't already, you're going to commit to posting in one of those categories every week. So you know you've got at least 5 posts coming. Out of those 5, so you can have 5 and an additional product post and an additional opportunity post. It doesn't have to mean join my team. It could just be, you know, grateful for like a vacation that's coming up. That's because like Melinda, you have a, like, oh my gosh, just looked at the calendar. In 4 weeks, I get to go on a cruise with my side, like grateful for my side hustle, right? Like just get it out there that there's an opportunity and a hustle being had, right? So just, it doesn't have to be, hey, who wants to join my team? Just share something so they know you are having an online business or have a hustle or something. Just tiptoe out there and you can build on it as your comfort level grows. But do you hear me? So 5 personal branding, 1 product post, 1 opportunity or business post, okay? So we're going to post 7 times in the next 7 days. Okay. For the product post. And If that's over aggressive, draw it out over 2 weeks, draw it out over 3 weeks, but give yourself a time frame in which you will have posted in at least all of those categories. If it's a week, it's a week. You want to build your social media quick, it's a week. You want to do it over 3 weeks, Carol, do it over 3 weeks. Okay. Okay. Look, if you posted 7 times in 3 weeks, that's huge, right? Because, and here's the thing, remember, if you're a mom, those are going to happen naturally. You don't have to work at those. Remember, if it's horses, you probably can do that on the go. It's easy. Like the ones that are easy, those are easy. Don't overthink them. Those can happen naturally. It's the ones that you want to be more like, the ones that you want to be known about, the ones that you want control of your brand. You want to be known as somebody who can help with anti-aging. Okay. You want to be known as somebody who, right? And that may be sharing your anti-aging struggles first. It may be sharing your, oh my gosh, good Lord, you know, like whatever it is, so that then you can start. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, but y'all know where I'm going with that. But here's the thing if you're going to post about products, this is what I want to challenge you. Pick the hero products and stick with it for like 3 months. Don't go through the 15 products. For your consumer, that's confusing. Talk about your hero products. Let you be the person they think of. Like for me, I feel like I already done a good job with CBD. So I'm going to do a little bit of CBD, but V3 core, V3 core, V3 core, V3 core. Okay. That's going to be my thing. So commit to either one of them or both. If you're not ready to make a post on the products on your story, then at least make it on your, if you're not willing to do it on your feed, at least do it on your story, but at least start getting in the practice of sharing in that category. If it makes you super uncomfortable, go to stories. It's only 24 minutes, 24 hours. Sorry, my brain's getting fried too. Okay. So I definitely want you to be, yeah.
One question on that. So if we're sharing on the product, are you of the frame of mind that we're actually not talking about the product by name, but just talking about the features and benefits and how it's going to help people, but leave the name out of it? Or are these the posts that are going to be specific to if you want to try V3 kind of thing?
They don't know what V3, you haven't, eventually you can call it by name, but you probably have to do the work of calling their solution. Like Amber talks V3 and core all the time, but she's done 2 years of talking V3 and core, right? And so it's going to start with energy, or, you know, like it could start with, part of the homework was identifying the problems that it solves and the features and benefits. So I would start focusing from there. I can pull up my notes if y'all want to remember what the homework was. Does somebody have it in front of them?
They do.
Maybe I have it right here.
It's
Okay.
what are the 5 searchable pain points per product, 5 features and benefits per product, 5 success stories, and 5 calls to action. You like the number 5?
So
it's good.
I do. It totally worked. So I would start there. I would do a little sheet and write down those, and then I think the stories are going to come naturally after that. Like I can do a post today of a friend that reached out to me, and it could be a screenshot where he says, oh my gosh, core V3, which I probably wouldn't do on my post, but I do it in a story. But maybe it's something about like, oh my gosh, somebody that I was lucky enough to share this with just reached out to me and told me they're off of blood pressure medications. Like, how exciting is that? Like, you know, let me know if that's something you struggle with. I'd love to help you too. There's your call to action. Who do I know with high blood pressure? Like, you can say anything you want. It's your social media.
Okay.
So 5 searchable pain points, 5 features and benefits. So how are we going to do that? 5 searchable pain points. Just think, is there anybody that does everybody know what their hero products are?
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all, the searchable pain points, you can, that's energy, digestion, like whatever it is, like what are the things that people are Googling? Like, what are the things that they're really wanting help with? The features and benefits, I would go to the PDF and remind yourself don't do it off the top of your head. Go to the PDF and go look what the key features and benefits. I bet there's something you get excited about and you probably forgot about. And you're like, oh my gosh, I loved when I saw that it had that. Oh my gosh. And then what does that mean? Why are you excited about that? Why is that so helpful, right? And then success stories, 5. So go into CBD plus liposomes. Go find 5 stories about that product. And that may help. You may not post about it. Maybe somebody else posts, hey, I got high blood pressure. Is there anything I do change my, you never know when an opportunity, because get familiar with those stories. And then make sure you have your own story, of course. And then 5 calls to action, right? Have those ready so that when you need to post something about your V3 or your core, your CBD, you pull that sheet up and you're like, oh yeah, I have lots I can talk about and share. And maybe it's just one line, maybe it's a couple lines, maybe it's a story, maybe it's just the picture and why you love it. If you need help, you'll know where to find me. Okay, I think that we've got some good work. Here's what I would suggest to you. Don't walk away from your desk just yet. Let's turn the computers off. We'll turn this off. You probably have a lot going on. Jot down some of the points that, go through your notes, circle the things that are the biggest things that if you will work on these couple of big things that really stood out for you, it would move everything else in the right direction. Not all things are equal. So just because they all got written down does not mean they all get your equal attention. Part of being really productive and growth is being able to figure out what is the big thing here. What is the big thing that I need to address and learn and tackle? That if I do that, all the other things get easier and fall into place. Okay? Any other questions? No? Okay, awesome. You guys are the best. Thank you for interacting so much and all of those things. I'm super excited. We'll have more of these workshop sessions to come. Thank y'all for having so much grace with me too, as I totally winged it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Shannon.
welcome. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.